नमस्कारम जयपुर, खमा गणी जयपुर। आज इस ऐतिहासिक शाम में जैसा कि मैंने कहा, राजस्थानी लोक संगीत और संगीतकारों की बात ही निराली होती है। तो कुछ आज की इस थीम से रिगार्डिंग, आज के समारोह के संदर्भ में कुटले खान प्रोजेक्ट आपके समक्ष कुछ प्रस्तुत कर रहे हैं।
राजस्थान में दोहा है, वो मैंने इसके साथ जॉइंट किया है, वो पेश कर रहा हूँ। धरती तू सवा घड़ी अंधारी रूप हरिंदा, धरती तू सवा घड़ी अंधारी रूप हरिंदार, पेरण लीलो कंछवो ओडे में गिमला ले 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 बलिहारी चौरे, ओ हारी जामूरे, बलिहारी चौरे, सतगुरु आंगन आया मेवारी जामूरे, धन गुरु आंगन आया मेवारी जामूरे, ले 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 ले। Everyone hands up. ले
बहुत सुंदर, थैंक यू। मैं एक बार फिर कहूंगा, अद्भुत, बहुत सुंदर, जोरदार तालियां हो जाए। द कुटले खान प्रोजेक्ट, आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद इतनी सुंदर, इतनी प्यारी परफॉर्मेंस के लिए। जैसा कि हमने शुरू किया था, एक बार और हो जाए। नमस्कारम जयपुर, खमा गणी जयपुर। आज इस ऐतिहासिक शाम में आप सभी का स्वागत है। मैं नवीन शर्मा, एक अभिनेता, परफॉर्मर और जयपुर के नवीन स्कूल ऑफ परफॉर्मिंग आर्ट्स का फाउंडर, सर्वप्रथम ईशा फाउंडेशन के प्रति अपनी कृतज्ञता ज्ञापित करता हूं कि आपने मुझे आज के इस भव्य, ऐतिहासिक एवं महत्वपूर्ण समारोह के संचालन के लिए चुना। आज आप सभी को इतनी भारी तादाद में देखकर, इतने जोश में देखकर पूर्णतः यकीन हो गया कि जब जब पृथ्वी पर संकट के बादल मंडराएंगे, हम भारतीय अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर पूरे विश्व के साथ एक परिवार की तरह कंधे से कंधा मिलाकर खड़े रहेंगे। दोस्तों, आज एक महत्वपूर्ण जिम्मेदारी हम पर आई है। हमारी मिट्टी की पौष्टिकता विलीन होने की कगार पर जा रही है। लेकिन अगर हम और आप ये तय कर लें कि हमारी मिट्टी को बचा लेंगे, तो हम ना सिर्फ हमारे लिए बल्कि आने वाली पीढ़ियों को एक खूबसूरत जीवन की सौगात दे सकते हैं। सदगुरु जी, जो कि कॉन्शियस प्लैनेट और सेव सॉइल के संस्थापक हैं, उन्होंने अपनी मोटर बाइक पे 27 देशों से होते हुए 30,000 किलोमीटर का सफर 21 मार्च को लंदन से शुरू किया। और ये सफर उन्हें यूके से मिडिल ईस्ट और मिडिल ईस्ट से आज भारत ले आया है। बर्मिंघम, लंदन, एम्स्टरडैम, बर्लिन, प्राग, वियना, लुबियाना, वेनिस, पेरिस, ब्रसल्स, कोलोन, सोफिया, बुचारेस्ट, इस्तांबुल, टिबिलिस, एजरबैजान, बाकू जॉर्डन, तेल अवीव, अबिजान, रियाद, बहरीन, अबू धाबी, दुबई, मस्कट, जामनगर, अहमदाबाद, पालमपुर, उदयपुर, ये वो शहर हैं जहां सेव सॉइल अभियान हजारों लोगों की भागीदारी और जबरदस्त जोश के साथ सफलतापूर्वक संपूर्ण हुआ है। और अब उस ऐतिहासिक पल जिसका हम सब बेसब्री से इंतजार कर रहे थे, हमारे प्रिय सदगुरु जी कुछ ही क्षण में हमारे बीच होंगे। जयपुर, क्या आप तैयार हैं? जोरदार तालियों के साथ सदगुरु जी। आप सभी के बीच सदगुरु। I request you all to kindly take your seats. मैं आप सभी से अनुरोध करता हूं कि आप अपना स्थान ग्रहण करें। आज जयपुर में सदगुरु जी के इस महत्वपूर्ण सफर का 75वां दिन है। आज पूरे विश्व में सेव सॉइल, मिट्टी बचाओ अभियान की गूंज सुनाई दे रही है। सदगुरु जी मोटर बाइक पे ये सफर आपके या मेरे लिए तय नहीं कर रहे हैं, बल्कि हमारी आने वाली पीढ़ियों के लिए कर रहे हैं। क्या आप इस सफर में सदगुरु जी के साथ हैं? जयपुर, हम इससे भी बेहतर कर सकते हैं, वी कैन डू बेटर। क्या आप इस सफर में सदगुरु जी के साथ हैं? आप ज्यादा से ज्यादा लोगों को जागरूक करने में हमारी मदद कर सकते हैं। सोशल चैनल्स पर #SaveSoilWave और सेव सॉइल जयपुर का इस्तेमाल करें और @ConsciousPlanet को टैग करें। सदगुरु जी के मार्गदर्शन में शुरू किया गया कॉन्शियस प्लैनेट मिट्टी बचाओ अभियान आखिर क्या है? आइए इसे समझने के लिए देखते हैं एक छोटा सा वीडियो। लेट्स हैव अ लुक।
We are talking about climate change, carbon emissions, and global warming and various other aspects, but we are not addressing soil. Soil is the habitat upon which zillions of lives thrive. Once there is no richness in soil, then you have forsaken the planet in many ways. Every responsible scientist in the world and the UN agencies are clearly saying we have only 80 to 100 harvests left. That means approximately 45 to 50 years of agricultural soil left on the planet. By 2045, we will be producing 40% less food than what we are producing right now, and our populations will be 9.3 billion people. The food shortages that could manifest in the next 25 years, the consequences of that is unimaginable. Civil wars will unfold across the world once there is food shortage. What we are facing now is soil extinction. Why is soil becoming extinct? Where is it going away? What is happening to our soil? We must understand, if you add organic content to sand, sand will turn into soil. If you remove all organic content from the soil, soil will become sand. In normal agricultural soil, the minimum organic content should be between 3 to 6%. The most minimum is 3%. At least this minimum to keep the soil alive, to keep the soil as living soil is a must. Agricultural soils across the world, the depletion is so heavy. In most countries, more than 50% of the topsoil is already gone in the last 100 years. The nutrient levels have dropped significantly. The level of micronutrients you would get from your food in early 20th century to what you are getting from the same food now has dropped 90%. If you ate one orange in 1920s, what you got from it, now in 2020, if you have to get the same, you will have to eat 8 oranges. This is what we have done to our food.
Soil is the biggest ecosystem on the planet, and so few people know anything about it. 1 teaspoon of healthy soil probably contains more microbes than there are people on Earth.
The microbial life in the first 12 to 15 inches of topsoil is the basis of our existence. It is this magic beneath our feet which has produced the life that we are. This first 12 to 15 inches of soil is the basis of life for 87% of life on this planet, including you and me.
We have to begin to recognize that what we call our soil, Mother Earth, is a living organism.
Open soils, ripped open by ploughing, open to sunlight, is the basis of destruction of microbial life. So the focus should be on agriculture, the focus should be on seeing that land is under shade as much as possible, some kind of shade, grasses, herbs, bushes, trees. Conscious Planet is launching Save Soil movement to bring about a policy change to regenerate soil. As a part of this, I'm 65 and I'm riding 30,000 kilometers, a lone motorcycle journey, 30,000 kilometers across 24 nations to activate support from the citizenry to assure the governments long-term investments will be appreciated. So it's extremely important that soil regeneration is enshrined in the policy of every government on the planet. We must change the narrative on the planet that soil is a wealth, a legacy we have received from previous generations, and we have to pass it on as living soil for future generations. We are in a cusp of time. If you do the right things now, in the next 15 to 25 years, we can significantly turn this situation around and regenerate the soil. But if we allow this to progress like this for another 30 to 40 years, after 40 years if we attempt this, then it could take 150 to 200 years, because that much loss of biodiversity would have happened. From 21st of March for 100 days, the whole world, every human being on the planet should talk soil. So we must hear the word soil, save soil everywhere, to see that the narrative on the planet changes towards the most vital aspect of our life, the soil. Each one of you should reach as many people as you can to make this happen. Many global leaders and influencers are already participating in the movement. Be a part of this and let us make it happen.
From my part, as much as I can contribute.
And the movement that you are taken up, I could not expect any more God's blessing than that.
Sadhguru, and this campaign is so important.
We're going to save the soil. Do your part.
And saving the soils.
And our planet's future depend on it.
Sadhguru, save soil, my friend.
Save soil, let's make it happen.
Antigua and Barbuda is part of the Save Soil mission.
We commend you for what you're doing. That is why we are happy to sign the MOU.
The science and philosophy that backs the thought behind the movement is tremendous.
Save soil, let's make it happen.
Save the soil.
We know what we must do, so let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make this happen.
Let us make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
इसे संभव बनाएं। आइए इसे संभव बनाएं।
आइए इसे संभव बनाएं।
आइए इसे संभव बनाएं। आइए इसे संभव बनाएं।
तो जयपुर, आइए इसे संभव बनाएं। Let's save soil, let's make it happen. हमारे स्पॉन्सर्स की भागीदारी के लिए हम उनको अनेक धन्यवाद देते हैं। आज के इस समारोह के स्पॉन्सर्स हैं हमारे नेशनल स्पॉन्सर पीवीआर, और हमारे अन्य स्पॉन्सर्स हैं सुपरफ्लो, हीरो फिन और वंडर सीमेंट। आज के इस समारोह का हिंदी ट्रांसलेशन, अभी के अभी हिंदी अनुवाद पाने के लिए आप स्क्रीन्स पर दी हुई फ्रीक्वेंसीज को अभी के अभी ट्यून इन कर सकते हैं, या फिर यू कैन लॉग इन टू savesoil.org/Hindi। और अब एक महत्वपूर्ण परफॉर्मेंस सदगुरु जी के मार्गदर्शन में शुरू किया गया प्रोजेक्ट संस्कृति भारतीय शास्त्रीय कलाओं का कक्षाएं एवं प्रस्तुतियां भेंट करता है। इन कलाओं में शामिल है शास्त्रीय संगीत, नृत्य और मार्शल आर्ट्स कला, कलेरी पैटू। भारत में हजारों सालों से एक आध्यात्मिक प्रक्रिया के रूप में इन गहन कलाओं का उपयोग किया जा रहा है। जो कलाकारों की भी प्रस्तुति देने वाले हैं, उन्होंने 7 साल की उम्र से अपना पूरा जीवन इन कलाओं के आत्मसान करने में लगाया है। एक हॉबी की तरह नहीं, बल्कि जीवन जीने के तरीके के रूप में। आइए देखें यह सुंदर प्रस्तुति जो शुरू होगी भरतनाट्यम डांसर राधे जग्गी के नृत्य के साथ।
Project Samskriti is an endeavor to nurture and impart India's classical arts. Designed by Sadhguru, it offers programs to learn powerful chants, music, Bharatnatyam and Kalaripayattu, an ancient martial art form conducted by the rigorously trained students and alumni of Isha Samskriti. The art forms are imparted in their most profound form as possibilities for inner growth and transformation.
Project Samskriti is not today's idea. It's been in incubation for nearly 25 years. So this is an effort not to save the art form alone, but to bring up humanity to a higher level of existence within themselves.
Namaskaram. With a heart of fire, draped in the rivers and oceans, with hair of open sky, and the body, the ground that we walk upon. Mother Earth, our source and sustenance. Time is ticking away as we exploit this gentle and strong source of life. It's time to reinvigorate and celebrate this mother that has birthed us, fed us, and will embrace us back into her bosom in our death. O Mother, in celebration of your grandeur, in concern for your well-being, in love with all that you are, we dance in tune to your rhythm, as we are just a part of you.
Beneath my feet, your soil. When you rise, you become a tree. Again, you fall as a leaf. Who are you? You come up as a crop. You give me life as food. Whether I am alive or dead, you are the only refuge. Who are you? You come as water. You come as milk. You come as honey. Who are you? If I eat, it is soil. If I breathe, it is soil. If I die, it is soil. Oh, my mother, who are you? Soil. In the root, there is a stalk. In the stalk, there is branch. In the branch, leaves, bud, flower and fruit, all rooted in soil. That is not our making. The soil, the very soul of all life, shall neither perish nor is created, but in a constant turnaround. A tree and a termite hill, the rough hide of an elephant and the fine silk of the spider, the beasts that you kill and the people that you love, all a recycle of soil, soil and soil. The magic of soil is it turns death into life. Depleted soils will not quench the fire of hunger. Unquenched hunger can burn the very world. This is a generational responsibility. Save soil. Let's make it happen.
बहुत खूब। इस आनंदमय प्रस्तुति के लिए मैं राधे जग्गी और पूरी संस्कृति टीम का बेहद धन्यवाद करता हूं. लेट्स हियर इट फॉर देम गाइस. थैंक यू सो मच. आज 3 जून को सद्गुरु जी के 100 दिवसीय अद्भुत, रोमांचक, खतरों से भरे सफर का 75वां दिन है. मोटर बाइक चलाते वक्त रास्ते में सद्गुरु जी ने कई रुकावटें देखी, जैसे कि बारिश, बर्फीले रास्ते, तूफान और आंधियां. सब कुछ मिले, लेकिन अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर एक दिन के लिए भी मिट्टी बचाओ अभियान नहीं रुका. इट वेंट ऑन. इसके लिए सद्गुरु जी हम आपको बधाई देते हैं. इट वेंट ऑन. अभी एक वीडियो के माध्यम से जानने की कोशिश करते हैं कि सद्गुरु जी का यह सफर कैसा रहा. लेट्स हैव अ लुक.
It's a great pleasure for me. These beautiful Caribbean nations are going for this fast.
This memorandum of understanding that we are signing, it will also bring some technical assistance to the Caribbean region.
This is a historic moment because here is the first step to turn around.
What you're doing today is really important because people like you who have a wonderful following of millions and millions of people, and what you're doing with that is so important with saving the soil.
If you want to say, I love you to your child, you must just say save soil, because it is a more committed way of saying I love you.
It's an extraordinary campaign. It echoes what we in the Commonwealth have been aspiring to do for a number of years.
Next 100 days from 21st of March, we want the whole world to talk about soil.
It is not about the motorcycle, it's not about the journey, it's not about the song, it is about moving people on the planet. Make it happen, huh?
Nobody spoke about soil like Sadhguru does.
I think if we all contribute, then we have a really strong voice.
There has been so much excitement and everybody is so excited to hear Sadhguru.
This is our time on the planet. What we do here is our business. Let's do the right things.
I honestly didn't feel like part of the movement before, obviously. I'd never met him. Seeing what kind of a following he has and how impactful it is, I really feel like I just joined a global movement.
Graffiti artists supporting this Save Soil movement, wanting to inspire the youth, and youth being the major population in most parts of the world today, all graffiti artists, to whatever walls that you have, make sure that you use this. One of the most beautiful cities of Europe.
It really resonated with me, the message that we have to save our soil.
It's our common issue together. It's not for one nation, for one person, but we as people have to unite and to solve this.
This is a celebration of human beings coming together to do what they need to do. All of us have been part of this destruction. The only way is all of us become part of the solution also.
Sadhguru, thank you.
Riding on to Italy. Italy is raining heavily tonight. We are in Venice.
So it's like a wave of hope.
Is necessary for the future.
Over 2000 years ago, this eternal city made the mistake of over-farming the region, and that was also the fall of the city at that time. So, the Romans of today should never make that mistake once again.
And we are very happy that we are aligned in our message to really hide the profile of soils.
Young people getting into farming is very good. That's the future of the world.
Thank you.
Here we are in Geneva.
I think it's a message of urgency, but it's also a message of hope. So I would really like to thank Sadhguru for his leadership.
The global movement led by him addresses the soil crisis by mobilizing people around the entire world.
This massive fountain in the Lake of Geneva is lit up for Save Soil today with Save Soil colors of blue and green. You cannot stop this. The moment is on. It's going to be on till the policies are done.
In this cold, slippery road and winds are picking up speed, no matter what the hell, I have to keep going. You think this is a problem? Relentless commitment to what you do. That is the only solution. Save soil, let's make it happen.
An MOU to be signed between Isha Foundation and 4,000 Initiative Soils for Food Security and Climate.
We were just sharing exactly the same objective, increasing carbon content in the soil.
Sadhguru, what you are doing is really impressive.
I'm quite amazed and thrilled by it.
I was very honored to be on the stage and be able to actually express that his mission is what we need.
It's fantastic. France has been great. Well, Brussels.
We should all stand up and make the most impact we can to create a real change in the world.
Save the soil.
Get the bottom!
A smashing evening at the main event. And a super enthusiastic crowd committing themselves to make this happen.
It's heartwarming to see everybody come together.
Save soil, on the move. Let's make it happen. Just look up the news and see in the last 4 months, how many governments have started talking about soil because they see it's picking up momentum. But if you create 3 to 4 billion people talking about soil, that's it. That will be the main conversation in the government.
Save the Soil is a very important movement that we support as UNCCD. We would like to propose to the world to do whatever they can to protect the soil because it is our future.
Save soil, let's make it happen.
I need someone to show me the way. I need someone to show me the way.
The education ministry in Germany has now come into the picture officially and asked all the children to do artwork to support Save Soil movement. Good, Arjun, wonderful. Congratulations that you wrote to the Prime Minister.
Let's make it happen!
So, on the way to Bratislava, well, the road surface is not great.
It's great that all of you are here in Bratislava. Nobody ever imagined 100 years ago that we will have to save soil of all the things.
Would you like to come in the kitchen and cook with me a little bit?
Why not? Without soil being rich, food won't be rich. Without food being rich, our bodies will not be of full potential.
What do you call that?
It's a Sadhguru sir.
Table 12.
The old heroes always built something which stands up like this, but the new heroes are those people who will nurture the soil which always lies beneath our feet, never stands up. Oh, this wonderful city of Belgrade, the UNFAO said something which really deeply hurt me, is the soil that we are consuming right now belongs not even to these little children, belongs to the unborn child. This is an expression of our love and responsibility for our own lives and the future lives.
I love the message that he sent and how he broadened it, that it's everybody's responsibility.
I think there is a great potential for a good collaboration, partnership with the campaign Save Soil, and what we are doing as a government. We can make it together.
It's very important, bringing a certain sense of love and celebration towards the land that we walk upon. Going from Sofia to Bucharest, not a weather for motorcycle for sure.
Organize yourselves whichever way you want. Form groups, come together somehow and see this happens.
Sadhguru reminded me that I have a voice.
People from Istanbul were really amazed by Sadhguru to appear, and they were just so happy to see him.
This many people, if all of you are committed and you spend 15–20 minutes a day to enhance the message, I think I don't have to go on riding like crazy. Yesterday I rode 18 hours, can you believe this, through Bulgarian roads?
Is an honest expression of his wisdom and love for humanity, I think.
He's been riding through very, rough terrain, rough roads, dusty construction sites.
It was a long drive and we were getting a little late for the live event at Tbilisi.
He, right at the end, maybe 5 minutes before the event, decided that he couldn't stop for a break.
In the traffic, he was just removing his jacket and gloves and throwing in the car just to make it on time.
The whole purpose of this moment is to bring this home, that when you walk upon the soil, you know it is the source of your life. Keeping it alive is the most important thing. Will you make it happen?
He is a gift from God.
for the people, for the earth, for the soil.
We must save the soil, we must plant the trees, we must replenish the forests, we must save our planet.
Wonderful, thank you so much for standing up for soil.
جينا بالحب جينا يا تربة الحبيبة وعدا منا وعهدا والعهد لن يخيب.
Right now, soil has turned into sand because we pulled out all the organic content. We are taking the life out of the soil. If we don't put that back, all the other concerns which are important to be attended to, but none of them will matter.
This is not for us, this is for him and his generation, hoping that they would have a better future with a better world. Save soil.
Here in Palestine, wonderful to be here.
I salute you and I respect your initiative and my full support of what is needed from the Palestinian side to support you.
The most important thing is we must keep our lands alive for future generations, because that is a fundamental responsibility we hold for our children and future generations beyond them.
Well, it's very important. I can tell you as a motorcycle driver, I also like motorcycles and it's not easy. This guy is devoted and this is what makes him so impressive and so he touches people.
When it comes to agriculture, when it comes to soil, when it comes to soil ecology, our national borders mean nothing because microorganisms operate as a global system. People are talking about doctors without borders. I'm asking you, are you beings without borders? Are you a life without borders?
Dear Sadhguru, one of the world's voices and leaders on soil conservation and land, in this day and age, having you here is absolutely fantastic and we welcome you.
Implementation has to happen on the land, and land is not managed by scientists, land is managed by farmers. So it's extremely important. It must be a single point agenda, incentive-based agenda. If inspiration, incentives and disincentives after a certain period of time is the way forward, this is my appeal to every one of you, because I don't want this COP15 to end as one more convention with more paper and more paper. This must end with concrete action, and action in such a way that it's implementable.
There is no word to describe what Sadhguru is doing for us.
We know how much, you had to do to get here. You left so many things you were doing with it, but you honored the country, you honored the people of this country. And on behalf of the head of state,
it's my pleasure.
I want to thank you very much.
It's a great privilege.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Save soil. Save soil.
We are very glad to have Sadhguru and the King.
You know, an airline hub and a shopping hub and other kinds. But nobody imagined it could be an ecological hub.
Thank you so much for being here with us, Sadhguru, on this wonderful journey. The UAE is partnering with you on Safe Soil, such an important cause.
Safe soil is surely a cause that we can all fully endorse. My dear brother Sadhguru, I would like to thank you for including the United Arab Emirates in your inspiring journey.
I'm proud to share that the UAE is working hard to include soil management and national strategies and policies.
Saving soil is one of the most important things on the planet right now.
It's not his mission, it needs to become all of our missions.
I'm here to save soil.
I had a meeting with Sadhguru Ji somewhere in December, I believe. And the net outcome of that whole thing is that I have earmarked funds to make good of the eco deficit of that particular year. Economy should also grow, but it should have an ecological responsibility in its growth.
Right now everybody is talking about robotics. It's time robotics goes into agriculture. Right now you have a big machine which just rips the soil off. This, if you leave the robotic machines through the day and night where just as much is needed, they can do. They don't have to rip the whole soil. Yes, science is already there, we know what to do. It is just that industry has not caught up because in the policy those things have not come.
I didn't imagine that we could find a lot of Omani people joining the movement.
I said, Oman, one more desert I have to ride. They said, no Sadhguru, Oman looks like Kerala. If one part of your nation is green, it just takes a determined effort to stretch that green all the way up. There are no words to describe what it means to be back in India. 70 days we've been on the road, 74 nations have signed up.
It's a very proud moment to have amidst us the savior of the soil.
It's my fortune that the first step that I take in the sacred land of birth is in Jamnagar.
ભાઈ માટી અને પશુ એટલે કે બીજા જીવ, મનુષ્ય સિવાયના જીવ, એ બંનેની જાળવણી જો કરીશું તો જ મનુષ્ય બચી શકાય એવું છે. લીડ લઈશું ગુજરાત, તમને એટલું કહી શકાય કે લીડ લઈને ગુજરાત આની મેં જેટલું બને એટલું ઝડપથી
You are in Gujarat since 2 days. हमारा गुजरात कैसा लगा आपको?
People are cool, but the weather is hot. Will you promise me in the next 100 years' time, we'll make the weather also cool for future generations?
I was really happy to interact with Sadhguruji. It really inspired me to work more and more towards this country, this nation, this soil.
Wow.
Sure that on this day, when it's Rana Pratapji's Jayanti, I happen to be here.
I think is an exceptional movement, and I think now it is our responsibility to make sure that we spread that message, pass on that message, and actually do something about it on the ground.
का खूब स्नेह बटोरा है. अभिनेत्री, लोक कलाकार, गायिका ईला अरुण जी, मैं आपसे निवेदन करता हूं कि आप मंच पर पधारें और आज के इस समारोह के संदर्भ में 2 शब्द कहें. ईला अरुण जी.
नमस्कारम, खम्मागणी, राम राम. मैं हमारे माटी के लाल सद्गुरु जी का हमारे राजस्थान की भूमि में अभिनंदन करती हूँ. मेरा जन्म राजस्थान में हुआ है और मैं चाहती हूँ कि बचपन से मैंने सिर्फ बबूल, नीम यही पेड़ देखे हैं, तो ये भी केरला बन जाए और हम लोग माटी बचाएं. कबीर ने एक दोहा कहा था कि माटी कहे कुम्हार से, तू क्यों रौंदे मोए, एक दिन ऐसा आएगा मैं रौंदूंगी तोए. तो ये थोड़ा सा दोहा गलत था, क्योंकि कुम्हार तो हमें मटका देता है, सुराही देता है, तवे दिए हैं उन्होंने बहुत. पर अब अगर कबीर होते तो हमसे कहते, माटी कहे हमसे, तू क्यों रौंदे मोए, एक दिन ऐसा आएगा मैं रौंदूंगी तोए. सर, मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा, मैंने आपके सारे जर्नी को देखा. मैं फिल्म इंडस्ट्री से भी ताल्लुक़ रखती हूँ. छोटी सी एंट्री के लिए लोग कहते सलमान मोटर बाइक पे आ रहा है, अक्षय कुमार मोटर बाइक पे आ रहा है, पर आपने तो गजब ढाया. आप हमारे वाकई में स्टार हैं. देखिए, सबसे बड़ी बात तो यह है कि आपने अपनी बात सुरीली तरीके से कहने की कोशिश करी. आज एयरपोर्ट पे मुझे शंकर महादेवन मिले थे, जो आपके रिवर प्रोजेक्ट से जुड़े थे. कैलाश भी आपके साथ जुड़ा हुआ है. सर, कभी भी मैं भी आपके साथ जुड़ जाऊंगी और माटी को लेकर के मैं प्रचार करूंगी. पर मुझे ये अच्छा लगा जो आपका यहाँ प्रोग्राम देखा कि भाव से, भंगिमा से, संस्कृति से, संगीत से आप अपने तेज से एक बात कह रहे हैं। यहाँ पे बहुत सरकारी लोग हैं, मैं रंगमंच से जुड़ी हूँ, राजनीतिक मंच से नहीं। हम थिएटर करते हैं, हम गाना गाते हैं, हम नाचते हैं, और हम जब भी आपने या किसी ने भी चाहा तो उस कॉज से जुड़ने की कोशिश भी करते हैं। वैसे आपको मालूम होगा कि इला का मतलब है नेचर, प्रकृति, धरती। इला बहुत सेंसिटिव होती है। माय नेम इज सर इला अरुण। सो मैं यही कहूंगी कि प्रकृति को बचाओ। मेरा गाना आपको तो बहुत पसंद था, वोट फॉर घाघरा। आई विल से टुडे, क्योंकि मैं ज्यादा समय नहीं ले सकती हूँ, इतने बड़े जिनको सुनने के लिए मैं खुद आई हूँ, मैं यही कहूंगी, वोट फॉर माटी बचाओ, वोट फॉर माटी बचाओ, वोट फॉर माटी बचाओ। और देखिए, यहाँ बैठ के हल्ला करने से तो कुछ नहीं होगा। एक बात जो मैंने देखी और समझी कि अल्टीमेटली सारी बात सरकार के पास है। तो मैं, हमारे सीएम अभी आए नहीं हैं, मैं उनसे गुजारिश कर रही थी, वो भी जोधपुर के हैं, मैं भी जोधपुर की हूँ, कि देखिए नीतियाँ बनाना सबसे आसान काम है, पर उस पर अमल करना बहुत ही आई वॉश है, कभी होता नहीं है। तो इसलिए हमें ये है कि आप लोग सब, जितने एनजीओज हैं, जितने इतने सारे लोग, इतनी भीड़ तो मैंने देखी नहीं, आप सब लोग ये देखें कि एक अकेला आदमी मोटर बाइक पे कद तक चाले लो भाया। आपने सबने मिलके आवाज उठानी होली। आज जब मैं तड़के अठे आई तो बड़बड़ती धूप ने तो हमारा गाल बाल दिया भाई। तो हमको ये देखना है कि यहाँ पे राजस्थान की मट्टी में हम लोग साथ दें और मट्टी को बचाएं। सर, ऑल द बेस्ट सर, आपको शुभकामनाओं सहित आपका अभिनंदन करती हूँ। थैंक यू।
इन ऊर्जा से भरे शब्दों के लिए इला जी हम आपका धन्यवाद करते हैं। और अब आगे बढ़ते हुए मैं राजस्थान के माननीय पंचायती राज एवं ग्रामीण विकास मंत्री श्री राजेश चंद मीणा जी का मंच पर स्वागत करता हूं। आप आए, मैं आपसे निवेदन करता हूं कि आप मंच पर पधारें और आज के समारोह के संदर्भ में 2 शब्द कहें।
आज के सेव सॉइल मूवमेंट के प्रोग्राम में मंच पर विराजमान सदगुरु जी, हमारे कृषि मंत्री लालचंद कटारिया जी और हमारे अधिकारीगण और यहाँ उपस्थित सबसे ज़्यादा आइकॉन जो दिख रहे हैं युवा हैं और जयपुर से आसपास से सभी पधारे हुए नागरिक बंधुओं और संस्था के जो लोग हैं जिनके द्वारा कार्यक्रम हो रहा है सदगुरु के सानिध्य में, तो सबसे पहले मैं कहना चाहूँगा कि सदगुरु जी ने जो एक मूवमेंट, एक अलग हटके प्रकृति के लिए एक मूवमेंट चलाया है और एक आंदोलन इस प्रकार का चलाया है जो अपने आप में एक नया आयाम स्थापित करने जा रहा है। सदगुरु जी ने करीब 27 देशों की, जो मैं देख रहा था अभी, 30,000 किलोमीटर 100 दिवस में यात्रा की है और मिट्टी बचाओ ये अभियान जो चल रहा है एक वास्तव में आज के युग की आवश्यकता है। और जिस प्रकार जलवायु परिवर्तन हो रहा है और हम जो कह सकते हैं मनुष्यों के द्वारा, हमारी गतिविधियों के द्वारा कंक्रीट के जंगल खड़े कर दिए हैं, और बाढ़ को कह सकते हैं, बाढ़ का भी हम ही कारण है। तो इस तरह जो परिस्थितियां बन रही हैं, तो जो समय आने वाला है, यदि इसको रोका नहीं गया है सिस्टम को, तो अभी पूरे विश्व में 24% रेगिस्तान है, और राजस्थान में तो वैसे ही राजस्थान प्रदेश रेगिस्तान के नाम से काफ़ी जगह एक बंजर भूमि में परिवर्तित हो चुका है पहले से ही। तो जो हम कह सकते हैं, क्योंकि धरती माता, जिसको पृथ्वी मिट्टी जो बात कर सोइल की चल रही है, तो हमारा शरीर भी 5 तत्वों से बना है, जिसमें आपका धरती है, आकाश है, पानी, अग्नि है और हवा है। सबसे महत्वपूर्ण महत्वपूर्ण तत्व है वह है पृथ्वी, जिसके द्वारा सारी सृष्टि आप हम सब बैठे हैं, इसी की रचना, इसी में पैदा हुए हैं और इसी में मिल जाना है सभी को। जितने भी आकार प्रकार या जितनी भी बातें सृष्टि की करें, तो इसी में विलीन हो जाना है। तो एक महत्वपूर्ण बात है, आध्यात्मिक रूप से गुरुजी यहाँ बैठे हैं, तो इसकी रज की, तो भारत की रज की तो बड़ी महिमा है। आप सब लोग जानते हैं कि ब्रज की रज मिल जाए, या फिर जहां जहां गोवर्धन की परिक्रमा करते हैं, हमारे जयपुर के, राजस्थान के विभिन्न प्रदेशों से भी आते हैं, वहां के बिहारी की भी परिक्रमा होती है। जगह जगह रज का बड़ा महत्व है इस देश में। तो आज जो स्थितियां बनी हैं कि कटाव होता है, कटाव के बाद में हवा और पानी, जो उसकी प्रथम लेयर है, उसको नष्ट कर देता है। उसके पौष्टिक तत्व होते हैं, वो समाप्त हो जाते हैं। तो हमें सभी को आज एक संकल्प लेना चाहिए, जो मैं विशेषकर युवा वर्ग से कहना चाहता हूं, कि जो सदगुरु जी ने जो मूवमेंट चलाया है, वो पर्सनल उनके लिए नहीं है, कि उनके प्रसिद्धि के लिए नहीं है। ये आम आदमी की जरूरत है, हमको आवश्यकता है, इस शरीर को भी जरूरत है उसकी। तो हमें संकल्प लेना चाहिए कि हम घर में 5 पेड़ लगाएंगे, 10 पेड़ लगाएंगे, उनका संरक्षण करेंगे, अंडरग्राउंड वाटर को कैसे रिचार्ज करेंगे, सतही पानी का संरक्षण कैसे करेंगे। ये बहुत सारी ऐसी चीजें हैं। क्योंकि सबसे पहली बात आती है कि हम जो जैविक खेती हुआ करती थी, जो पुराने जमाने में ओरिजिनल शुद्ध खाद्य वस्तुएं मिला करती थी, वो अब समाप्त हो गई हैं। अब ज्यादा से ज्यादा रासायनिक खाद या इस तरह के केमिकल्स, जिनके द्वारा हम यही जयपुर में अमीषा नाले की सब्जियों का यूज कर रहे हैं, खा रहे हैं, मजे से, बढ़िया अच्छी हैं, बिल्कुल सफाई से मिल रही हैं हमको। लेकिन अब जरूरत है हमें जो बिना केमिकल रसायन के जैविक खेती हो, उसमें कोई खाद यूरिया नहीं हो, गोबर की खाद हो। तो वो इस बाजार में जैविक खेती का भी भाव आप जानते हैं। कोई भी आदमी एक बार ये लिख दे मार्केट में, अब सब लोग जानते हैं कि कुएं के पानी की खेती है और इसमें कोई यूरिया खाद नहीं है, तो 2 घंटे में बिक जाएगी। तो आज आवश्यकता है हमें कि जो वनों की कटाई है, खेती हो जाती है, अभी हरियाणा में देखते हैं, हमारे राजस्थान में तो ऐसा नहीं होता। गेहूं होने के बाद खेती, वहां खेतों में आग लगा देते हैं। ये बहुत ही गलत है, क्योंकि हमारा जो हमारे जो उर्वरक भूमि बनाते हैं, वो सारी समाप्त हो जाती है। तो मैं आप लोगों से जो कहना चाहता हूं, ज्यादा समय नहीं लूंगा लंबा, कि हमें जीव जंतुओं के साथ जो केंचुआ होता है, केंचुआ वो धरती के साथ संबंध रखता है, ऐसे ही मानव को भी उसी तरह संबंध रखना चाहिए। और हम जो सरकार कर रही है राजस्थान में, वो आपको मैं बता देना चाहता हूं कि हम प्रधानमंत्री किसान सिंचाई योजना के माध्यम से जो बंजर भूमि है उसको सिंचित कैसे किया जाए, और उसके अलावा पेड़ पौधे लगाकर, फार्म पाउंड बनाकर, एनीकट्स बनाकर, चेक डैम बनाकर भूमि को सिंचित कर सिंचाई योग्य भूमि बनाने का हम प्रयास कर रहे हैं। इसी तरह माननीय मुख्यमंत्री महोदय सो गहलोत साहब ने इसी सत्र में 2600 करोड़ रुपए दिए हैं वाटर सेड जल ग्रहण के लिए कि अच्छी उपजाऊ भूमि कैसे बने। तो आप लोग, जो मैं अपनी बात रख रहा था लेकिन आप सदगुरु जी को सुनना चाहते हैं, लेकिन आप सुनना चाहते हैं सुनिए, लेकिन यहां से एक संकल्प लेके जाएं कि इस मिट्टी को कैसे बचाना है, इस उपजाऊ भूमि कैसे बनाना है, इसको पौष्टिक मिट्टी कैसे बनाना है। यदि हम आए हैं यहाँ तभी सार्थक होगा कि हम ऐसा संकल्प लें कि हमारी भूमि पौष्टिक हो। जय हिंद, धन्यवाद सभी को।
धन्यवाद सर। त्रुटि के लिए क्षमा चाहता हूं। अभी आपने सुना राजस्थान के पंचायती राज एवं ग्रामीण विकास मंत्री जी माननीय श्री रमेश चंद्र मीना जी को, और अब मैं राजस्थान के कृषि मंत्री जी माननीय श्री लालचंद कटारिया जी से निवेदन करता हूं कि आप मंच पर पधारें और इस समारोह के संदर्भ में 2 शब्द कहें। माननीय श्री लालचंद कटारिया जी।
मिट्टी बचाओ महाअभियान में 27 देश और 30,000 किलोमीटर की यात्रा करके इस राजस्थान की मरुधरा पे गुलाबी नगर जयपुर में मैं सम्माननीय सदगुरु जग्गी वासुदेव जी का प्रदेश की जनता की तरफ से, नौजवान साथियों की तरफ से, किसान भाइयों की तरफ से हार्दिक स्वागत और अभिनंदन करता हूं। मंचासीन राजस्थान सरकार के मंत्री रमेश मीना जी, राजीव अरोड़ा जी, इला अरुण जी और पधारे हुए सभी नौजवान साथियों, बुजुर्गों, माताओं और बहनों और मीडिया के सभी साथीगण। नौजवान साथियों, में ज्यादा समय नहीं लूंगा। मुख्यमंत्री जी को मुझे ये पहले से ही मालूम था कि इस गुलाबी नगरी जयपुर का और पधारो मेरे देश जो आओ भगत राजस्थान की रही है, उसमें हम सदगुरु जी को सुनना चाहते हैं। मुख्यमंत्री जी को आना था, किसी कारणवश वो नहीं आ पाए। मैं उनकी तरफ से क्षमा याचना चाहता हूं। और 2 बातें आपके बीच में कहूंगा कि जो ये महाअभियान सम्माननीय गुरुजी ने पूरी देश और दुनिया के सामने इस मिट्टी बचाने का अभियान अपने सामने रखा है, हमारे सामने जो चुनौतियां बनी हुई है मनुष्य जीवन को बचाने की, आज कोरोना काल में हम सभी ने देखा कि जीडीपी को रोकने का काम इस मिट्टी ने किया, इस धरती माँ ने किया, और पूरी दुनिया में एक नया संदेश देने के लिए सदगुरु जी ने जो ये महाअभियान चलाया है, आने वाले समय में हमारी नौजवान पीढ़ियां आपके इस बताए मार्गदर्शन में चलते हुए मिट्टी बचाने के अभियान को आगे बढ़ाएगी। सर, मैं आपसे कहना चाहूंगा कि इस आधुनिक काल के अंदर राजस्थान में ऐसी एक ट्रेन आती है जिसको कैंसर ट्रेन कहते हैं। इसका कारण ये मानव जीवन, ये आधुनिकता और नई टेक्नोलॉजी, पेस्टिसाइड और मनुष्य द्वारा किए गए विकास है। आप कल्पना कर सकते हैं कि आदिकाल में गांव में रहने वाले व्यक्ति की 100 वर्ष की उम्र हुआ करती थी। न संसाधन थे, न विज्ञान था, केवल प्रकृति के सहारे मानव अपना जीवन जीता था। और मैं ये मान के चलता हूं कि उस प्रकृति को ताकत देने का काम, उस जमीन की उर्वरक क्षमता बढ़ाने का काम और जमीन को ताकतवर बनाने का काम, ये संदेश जो सदगुरु जी ने पूरे देश और दुनिया में दिया है, निश्चित तौर पर आने वाले समय में इसके परिणाम मिलेंगे। हम सभी लोग जानते हैं कि हम धरती को धरती माँ कहते हैं, गाय को गौ माता कहते हैं, और इन दोनों का जब साथ मिलता है तो मानव जीवन आगे बढ़ता है। आप सभी को मेरी तरफ से बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं। एक बार पुनः मैं सदगुरु जी को धन्यवाद देता हूं। नमस्कार, जय हिंद।
मैं राजस्थान के कृषि मंत्री जी से अनुरोध करूंगा कि वो मंच पर हमारे साथ बने रहें। और जैसा कि आप देख सकते हैं, सदगुरु जी हमारे साथ हैं। सदगुरु जी के जयपुर आगमन के इस ऐतिहासिक अवसर पर उनके मिट्टी बचाओ आंदोलन के हिस्से के रूप में हमें यह घोषणा करते हुए खुशी हो रही है कि राजस्थान सरकार और ईशा आउटरीच आज राजस्थान की मिट्टी को पुनर्जीवित करने के लिए एक समझौता ज्ञापन, जिसे हम MOU भी कहते हैं, पर हस्ताक्षर करेंगे। यह MOU धरती को जागरूक बनाने की दिशा में एक पहला कदम है, जब मिट्टी बचाओ अभियान और राजस्थान सरकार एक साथ मिलकर काम करेंगे। मैं माननीय मंत्री एवं हमारे प्रिय सदगुरु जी से निवेदन करूंगा कि आप MOU का आदान प्रदान करें।
Right now, namaskaram to everyone. This is this is just a 3-point incentive policy for the farmers. We would like you to study this. To the Chief Minister, we will present a larger book for the policy handbook. This is a simple thing that your department can study, and the MOU, please. That the photographers want you this way. It's okay. It's okay, sir. This way. Hey, what? Thank you, sir. Thank you.
कालो न जानाति तव जननम् कालो न जानाति तव समापनम् दृष्टो मया तव महाकारः योगेश्वर काल काल योगेश्वर काल काल। Namaskaram. Namaskaram to everyone. Well, I'm sorry, I cannot speak in Hindi or Why have we come to this place where we should think about saving soil of all the things? Well, people in Rajasthan should understand this better than the remaining states, because you have a significant part of the state as desert, and at the same time there are parts of Rajasthan which are very fertile. So you know it can be both ways. Other people still haven't realized that parts of their states could become deserts. Well, probably most people have been playing the ostrich trick with themselves. In the last 25 years, only in 25 years, 10% of the planet's geography has turned into a desert. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, look up the Google Maps from 2003 to what it is today. You will see how much of land has turned into desert in just 25 years' time. In 25 years, if 10% of the planet becomes desert, by the end of this century, you can imagine what? This is where we're going. Why has such a thing happened? Who is that evil person who is turning this planet into a desert? Because everybody is looking for that person. Who is that? Is this industry? Is that industry? Is this person, this political leader, that political leader? No, I want you to understand, this has not happened because any one evil person or evil force from anywhere. This has all happened in pursuit of human happiness and well-being. Yes, in pursuit of human happiness. What is wrong with in pursuing human happiness? It's just this. Once, can I tell you a story? For a story, you need a right attitude. When I say once upon a time, you must say, ha ha. On a certain day, a potato farmer wanted to eat an apple. So, he went looking for that tree which produces apples, and he went to the right tree. What tree was that? Apple tree. He went to the apple tree. But out of sheer habit, being a potato farmer, started digging for apples. He dug and he did not find any apples. Whenever what you want doesn't happen, you will become furious. So he became furious and dug furiously and went on digging furiously. After some time, the tree came down upon him. This is the story of humanity right now. This is your story. This is the story of the world. In search of human happiness, whether happiness happened or misery happened to you, did it happen within you or did it happen all over the place? Huh? It happened within you. Pain and pleasure happens within you. Joy and misery happens within you. Agony and ecstasy happens within you. Anything that ever happened happens within you. Human experience happens within you. Not only happens within you, it is manufactured within you. But we are in search of happiness. We are turning the world upside down in search of our happiness. How many things have you done in pursuit of happiness? The moment you pursue happiness, this is the way it is. Somebody was telling me, it seems some 3 million light years away, just 3 million light years away, There are some 300 and odd planets which are just like Earth and many of them much larger than Earth. If we get there, we don't have to worry about safe soil. I said, if we find 8 billion planets like Earth, if you give one to each one of you, as long as you're in pursuit of happiness, you will destroy it within the next 100 years. Are you clapping your hands for that? You're clapping your hands, yes, we will destroy it. I'm saying something so simple, we did not figure out. This is a culture, this is a land, this is a nation where for thousands of years we invested in the inner well-being of the human being. This is a land where our history is not replete with just kings and wars. This is a land which is replete with saints, sages, yogis, mystics of the past. Only now, in the last few hundred years, we started writing other kinds of history. Otherwise, always it was about that, because we understood human well-being is most important to address and solve any other problem. As long as we are in pursuit of happiness, as long as we are seeking well-being in the world, there is no end to it. As a generation of people, all of you, is it not true, compared to any other generation in the history of humanity, you're enjoying more comforts and conveniences than any generation ever? Hello? But still you're in pursuit of happiness. So obviously that's not the way to settle it. It doesn't matter what you have will bring comfort and convenience. What you have and what you possess can never bring happiness and well-being to a human being. That can only happen from within. If we do not understand this, if we do not invest in this, we all go on digging for apples in the ground. And all we will have is not apples, we will have a grave for ourselves. Self-help is good that way. Hello? That you dig your own grave, at least you're saving labor, which is a good thing. But is that the way to conduct life? What is it that you're looking for? When you say happiness, when you say well-being, all you're looking for is, you want pleasantness of life. Pleasantness of life means, if your body becomes pleasant, we call this health. Do you want it? When I ask you a question, you must say yes or no, because I'm going to bless you. Those of you who stay silent, it's up to you. Pleasantness of body is called health. Do you want it? Pleasantness, if the pleasantness becomes too much, if you become too pleasant, then we say it's pleasure. If your mind becomes pleasant, we call this peace. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it joy. If your emotions become pleasant, we call this love. Oh. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it compassion. If your very life energies become pleasant, we call this blissfulness. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it ecstasy. If your surroundings become pleasant, we call this success. Only to create pleasantness in your surroundings, you need the help and cooperation of people and forces around you. Pleasantness of our surroundings is not all our making. It is about the times in which we are born, where we live. But pleasantness of the body, pleasantness of the mind, pleasantness of the emotion and your energies is 100% your business. Hello? If you do not take care of this one thing, then you will go on digging the world beyond the needs of what we want, what we need in this world. So, this whole thing has happened in pursuit of human happiness and well-being. As long as people are seeking happiness, you cannot stop the damage. This process of seeking happiness has taken this terrible form because of our competence, because of our intelligence, because of our capabilities. If you had the brain of an earthworm, you would be very peaceful and eco-friendly too. Hello? But now you have this big brain which is so much competence. Now if you're in compulsive states of activity, if you do not function consciously, if you're not invested in being joyful by your own nature, then this intelligence is going to destroy the world. That's all that's happening right now. I'm asking you, is intelligence a solution or intelligence a problem? What? Both ways, both ways. Should intelligence be a solution or a problem? There is no other solution. Intelligence is the only solution. What you call as creation is a brilliant manifestation of intelligence, isn't it so? This beautiful flower that you see at the corner of the stage, its roots are in filth. The more filth you put there, more beautiful and fragrant it becomes. You also made like this? It's very important you also become like this. The more filth people throw at you, the more beautiful you should become. You know, people have been helping me along. Now, this is the nature of the existence. This is the nature of the existence. But what have you become? You have become what you have become because you are not a life, you are a psychological case. How does one become a psychological case? When you make your own thought and emotion more important than the creation itself, you will become a psychological case. People are asking me, Sadhguru, how did you become a soil scientist? How did you become an ecologist? How did you become an environmentalist? Let me tell you, I am not a soil scientist, I am not an ecologist, I am not an environmentalist, I am not even an activist. I am just a worm on this planet. Like a worm, I crawled. For 65 years I've been crawling. People ask, how do you know about the soil? I'm asking, how do you not know? Where were you? Did you come from Mars? Did you come from the moon? Where did you come from? What kind of question is, how do you know? I'm asking, how do you not know? Where were you? Oh, you were here. Not here. You did not walk on this planet. You are living in your own world. For this we are paying a price. If you were walking on this planet, really, feeling the life around you, when things are going wrong, you'll instantly know, isn't it? Hello? If you were also a worm like me, if you were also living on this planet, not in your own world, you would also definitely know what's going wrong with this. So this is not a joke. This is not one more problem that we have. This is the problem because right now, we have just another 60 years of agricultural soil left on this planet. Nearly 52% of the topsoil on the planet is gone. What does topsoil mean? Approximately 15 to 18 inches of this topsoil is the cream of this planet. It is here, all life is manufactured. This is so rich with life, so replete with life means a handful of soil has 8 to 10 billion organisms and zillions of them and millions of species. To what extent means top soil scientists in the world are openly admitting they know less than 1% of the species present in the topsoil. When you know less than 1%, you should not mess with it, hello? When you do not even know 1%, should you mess with it? It's been shocking. Last 2.5 years I've been meeting so many agricultural ministries across the world. It's so shocking to see that 85% of the agricultural ministries in the world consider soil as an inert substance that you can fix by adding a chemical or taking out a chemical. This is the largest living system, not just on this planet. This is the largest living system. In the entire known universe, there is no place like this. These 15 to 18 inches of soil, there is no place like this in the entire universe. Even if you sow death into it, only life sprouts out of it. Where is there such a magical material anywhere? Knowing this, feeling this, experiencing this, our ancestors referred to soil as our mother, because this is the mother of all our mothers. But today we've become so scientific and so absolutely senseless that the problem is not of science, the problem is what sort of people are talking about science, what sort of bits and pieces of science people are picking up without knowing the entire science of it. Today, we are referring to soil as a resource that we can use. Almost across the world, in every ministry in the world, almost everywhere, people are referring to it as a resource. All of us have fed upon the breast of our mother. Will we call her a resource or is she the source of our life? The day you call your mother a resource, you lost your humanity. Hello? The day you refer to your mother as a resource, you lost the fundamentals of humanity within you. Soil is the mother of our mothers, but we are referring to it as a resource. We are addressing it as a resource, we are paying the price for it. I want you to know the problem is not just of Rajasthan or even of Bharat. It is a global phenomena right now. The world is heading for this. The minimum organic content that is necessary to call soil as soil is 3%. Minimum is 3%. Not a single nation, not even one nation has this minimum 3% average in it, not even a single nation. The highest average in the world is Northern Europe, it is 1.48%. Southern Europe has 1.1%. United States has 1.25%. India has 0.68%. Africa, the entire continent on an average, has 0.3%, which is a desert. Anything below 1% is considered as serious desertification. We are already there. If you do not understand what I'm saying, living in Rajasthan, you may think it's normal, but if you take a flight from Mumbai to Chennai, across the country, look down every 5 minutes, you will see a brown desert right across. Except for Western Ghats and the northeastern part of the nation, everything looks like a desert because we have even forgotten 50 years ago, every farmer knew when the land is not in use, there must be some cover crop. Even that we have forgotten because we think it is just a resource, we can use it whichever way we want. How did this happen? Why did this happen? What has led to this? In the year 1918, a German scientist came up with the first nitrogenous fertilizer. When this fertilizer came and farmers took it and threw it on their fields, suddenly it worked like magic. In India, there are many places where when we started using the fertilizer, our yields went up by 300%, 3 times over. Naturally, we thought this is magic powder. We started using the magic powder, more and more yield came. Because of that, we thought all these trees and plants and other things which were part of the farming process, we thought these are not necessary because we want to plow every inch of the land. So we got rid of all the plant life. Then because the work increased, we brought the machines. Because the machines came, all the animals went out. No plant life, no animal life. Tell me, where is the organic source apart from plant life and animal life? The green litter from the plants and the animal waste, this is the only way. I want you to clearly understand this. If you search the whole universe, there is not one speck of organic content without plant life and animal life. But I heard when the UP elections were on and the television debates were going on, I was not in the country, and I hear people debating, all these animals, even in Rajasthan, I think such discussions are going on. All these animals are on the highway, how do we get rid of them? Some 830 million animals in the country. When 60% or more of our population are farmers, you think bovine animals are a problem? Have we lost it? Have we lost all sense, I'm asking? I'm telling you, if we allow these 830 million animals to disappear from this country, which will inevitably happen in the next 10-15 years' time if you don't take care of them, in the next 10-15 years, if these animals disappear, you are closing the chapter of Bharat in many ways. This may sound very alarmist. You look it up, don't go by what I say. Please look up the science, look up the UNFAO sites, you look up the UNCCD sites, look up all the soil sites and books that are there. Please look it up. Once animals and plant life disappear, once the source of organic content disappears, you are closing the chapter. And these days, the young people, you only I'm talking about, the young people call themselves Generation Z. This scares me. Z is the last alphabet. Hello? Are you the last generation? Is this what you want? So use some other alphabet, please. Or use a number, at least it'll go on endlessly. Generation Z, this is scary. We must understand this. This is very simple to fix. This doesn't need any great new technology. We don't need any rocket science for this. Nor do we need enormous amount of financial outlay. All it takes is, right now we are walking towards the wall. We just have to orient ourselves towards the door. And we must be committed to take every step in the same direction, not change direction. For the next 10 to 15 years, we will have our land back, we will have the aliveness in the land back. This is all it takes. But we elect governments only for 5 years. How will they do it? Because every 5 years somebody keeps changing. Unless people, all of you, unless every one of you raise your voice and say, we want a commitment that is long-term, and we are concerned about the long-term well-being of our nation, we are concerned about the future generations. If you do not express this, how will a democratically elected government do anything if there is no people's mandate? Where is the people's mandate? Simply trinkets you're asking for, we want 2 rupees reduction in the petrol price, we want 1% tax benefit, you're getting those things. If you want long-term well-being in a democratic nation, people should raise their voice and give that comfort to the government that if you do long-term things, we are with you. Because the history of this country is, in many states what I have seen, the day when governments start taking long-term steps, they will lose the election immediately. Will you change that in this country? We must elect those people who take long-term steps for the well-being of this country and the states and the well-being of the future generations. Otherwise, this cannot be fixed. With short-termism, this cannot be fixed. This needs a long-term commitment. Who is willing to do something that bears results after 10, 15, 20 years when their term is only 5 years, I'm asking. Hello? So, just not pointing at fingers at the governments that are today, it is important to give them an assurance. We have written to 730 political parties on the planet that they must make soil and soil ecology part of their political manifestos. It doesn't matter what party you belong to. In the name of political philosophies, ideologies, religion, caste, creed, nationalities, we've divided the world in so many different ways. It's very important when we have found so many points of division between us, it is very important to also have some common denominators among us. Soil is that common denominator. All of us come from it, all of us are eating off it. When we die, we will go back to it. This is important that as a generation we wake up, because as a generation, definitely we have a huge challenge in front of us. At the same time, as a generation, we are profoundly privileged because we are in a cusp of time that if we act now, in the next 10 to 15 years, we can make a significant difference. But if we sleep through this and fall into the disaster, after 30 to 40 years' time, even if you want to do it, it will not happen because the loss of biodiversity is happening at such a pace. On an average, according to UNFAO, on an average, 27,000 species, you heard the number right, 27,000 species, not organisms, 27,000 species of organisms are going extinct every year. 27,000 species. At this rate, somewhere between 25 to 40 years from today, we will come to a place where a tumble will happen. Right now a slide is happening, the slide will come to a certain place when the biodiversity has become very weak, then it will tumble down. When it tumbles down, there is nothing to do. Before that, we have to arrest this. It's very much possible to do this. Fortunately, as a policy, we brought forth this Rally for Rivers policy. Maybe most of you have not followed up. I want to tell you, the Rally for Rivers policy that we wrote, 760-page document as to how to manage India's rivers. Why India's rivers are unique compared to European or American river seas. There the water is all coming from the source of melting ice. Here the only source of water we have is monsoon. The monsoon rain in the last 100 years since it's been measured has not decreased. The same volume of rain is coming. So the rain that happens in 70 to 90 days in a year, it should stay in the soil for 365 days. If that has to happen, the soil organic content should be high, it should be rich, then only it can hold. Otherwise, it will run on the surface. In Tamil Nadu, there is a very wise saying from the past, thousands of years ago, people have spoken. They said, Kaveri nadandu vandada valam, odi vanda vellam. This means, only if Kaveri comes walking, she is prosperity. If she comes running, she is a disaster. Why would she run or why would she walk? If there is substantial vegetation in the land, she will walk. If there is not enough vegetation, she will run. When she runs, she will cause a disaster and she gets over. Already it is happening. Nearly 4.5 months, the Kaveri is not even reaching the ocean. What was a perennial river for thousands of years? In the last 15 years, she is not even touching the ocean. 175 kilometers inland, she is drying up. The whole length of Kaveri is 806 kilometers. In that 175 kilometers, before touching the ocean, it's drying up. So this Rally for Rivers policy, what we wrote, is about how to increase the vegetation. Why this has become necessary is, for example, Kaveri River or river basin is where I grew up, around Kaveri. How the river was 50 years ago and what it is today, only 40% of it is left. It is no more what it used to be. This has happened because in the last 70 years, we have removed 82% of the tree cover in Kaveri basin. In the Ganga basin, which accounts for 25% of India's geography and 33% of India's agriculture, we have removed 92% of tree cover. What's our plan for the country? What is our plan? It looks like definitely we are Generation Z. It is time we change this. As a part of this, to manifest this, within 3.5 months, the Rally for Rivers policy became the national recommended policy for all the 28 states. About 6 states went into proactive action. Yes, this is the very first time a private organization wrote the policy which was accepted and made into a national policy. But as Ila was saying, policy you can make, action on the ground. Action now, is it there somewhere? Action now, yes. So policy went in, but only 6 states were acting upon it, others waiting for a disaster to happen. Normally, most people are propelled to act, but at the same time, every government has limitations of budget, limitations of means of what they can do and what they cannot do, unless people give a mandate. See, if you do one thing, something else will suffer always. If they have to take long-term measures, people have to give a voice mandate, we are with you. If you really take very long-term measures, we are with you, we are willing to go through a short-term deficiencies here and there. If that assurance is not given by the people, no democratically elected government can ever act long-term. So this is important for the people, the citizens to understand. We must understand once you're in a democratic country, you are the leaders. Do not point your hands at anybody else. You are the leaders. If nothing is happening, it is very important that you don't just talk in your tea party and dinner party and go, you must raise your voice. For the first time, you have technology platforms that you can sit at home and raise your voice. Hello? This is the first time. You can sit at home and raise your voice, and your voice could be heard around the world for the very first time. Many great beings have come in this world, but when they spoke, hardly 10 people could hear them. But see the fortune of who you are in this generation. You can sit at home in the comfort of your home and reach the entire world. When you have such capabilities, if you do not do what is needed for this generation and future generations, it just shows that you do not care enough. That's what it means. So, soil is in that condition. If we don't act now, it'll be in real danger. We are talking about driving towards a famine. See, just 70 years ago, pre-independence and even post-independence, we had famines in this country. What famine means is, it is the worst form of death for a human being, because it will take 3 to 4 months to die slowly, shriveling out. With so much organization today, with so much technology, so much information, if once again we drive towards a famine, we are the most senseless human beings left. Hello? We should never again drive towards a famine. So to manifest this, we started manifesting this on the ground in the form of Kaveri calling, where 83,000 square kilometers, 5.2 million farmers live and work there. Looking at the success of Kaveri calling, 5 UN agencies partnered with us. Looking at the success of Kaveri calling, the government of India made detailed project reports for 13 river basins on the same format. Now, we've been pushing for this last 3-4 years' time. Just now, when I was riding in Europe somewhere, I think I was somewhere around Bulgaria or somewhere, at that time I got the news that Government of India allocated 19,000 crores for these 13 river basins. But I want you to understand, to get to this place where a budget is allocated, it has taken me 11.5 years of incessant work, a whole team of people. But this is how the governments work, this is how the policies happen in the world, this is the way democracy works. So I'm saying, we need not just for this day to do whoa, we need you in a sustained way to keep your voice up till policies are done and action gets on the ground. Are you there? Now that you're a big voice, I can tell you a nice story. You know how to listen to your story? Okay. Once upon a time, in the city of Jaipur, on a full moon day, how will there be full moon in the day? On a full moon night, the elders in the town met and decided, see, the moon is always changing shades and this, we can see people, something is moving. It's the people. There are people out there like us. We must communicate with them. How to do? So that whole month debates happened, how to communicate with the people on the moon. Then they came up with this idea, next full moon, all of us will stand upon the rooftops of our homes and buildings that we have, and one appointed moment, exactly at 9 o'clock in the evening, we will all stand there on the rooftops. In one voice, we will say, "Who are you?" Let's see what they say. But "who are you" is too long, so we will just say "who." Let us see how they respond. I will say 1, 2, 3. I want you to say "who" in such a way that if there's anybody on the moon, they must hear it, okay? 1, 2, 3. See, now you have become like this wonderful people of Jaipur. But on that day, I was also a resident of Jaipur. And the clock was ticking. What? It was ticking and 9 o'clock is approaching. Then I thought, I'm just a small person, you know. What is there in my voice? Whether I say it or not, what does it matter? All these big people are there, Ella is there. So many big voices there, all young people are there. When all these people are there, what is my voice after all? But it's such a unique moment, everybody saying "who" in one moment. It's a great moment, I want to witness that. So I was just there listening. When that moment came, 9 o'clock, it passed in utter silence. This is the problem. We always think somebody else will do it. There is no somebody else here, just you and me. There is no somebody else on this planet, just you and me. If we destroy it, it's us. If we make it beautiful, it's us. What is your choice as a generation of people? This is our time on the planet. Shall we make this a beautiful earth that it was and it should be for future generations? In the last 70 years, 67% of the vertebrate life on this planet has disappeared. In the last 70 years, 82% of the biomass insects have disappeared. In the last 70 years, 92% of the inland aquatic life has disappeared. What is our plan? What is our bloody plan for ourselves and our children? It is not a philosophy, it is not an ideology, it is not religion that you want your children to live better than yourself. It is intrinsic to you. Hello? But right now we are busy dismantling the foundations of possible good life for the future generations. How can we leave the world like this and go? It is very important that we put this back because this is against everything that's human within us. We are grazing like cattle without thinking about what is next. We think somebody else will do it. There is nobody else, just you and me, just you and me. There is simply nobody else here. Nobody else will come from anywhere and fix this. Either we fix it or we don't fix it. Now, fixing it means most probably none of you are farmers here. This needs to be understood. It has to be an incentive-driven policy. Farmers' economy is right now so fragile. If you touch it, it'll collapse. Like we have been working with millions of farmers, 62% of India's population are in farming. We have done some kind of a survey. What we find is not even 2% of the farmers want their children to be farmers. In another 25 years, when this generation passes, who is going to grow food in this country? Where is the food security when nobody wants to farm? We have to ensure in this country, the policies have to be made in such a way that a farmer should earn, if not more, as much as a doctor or an engineer or a lawyer or IT professional. Whatever is driving people towards urban centers, whatever is driving the youth of this nation towards cities, that earning must happen in the village. If it doesn't happen, nobody will be a farmer in the next 30 years' time. That's where we are going. It is very important we fix this. This is not just India's phenomena, this is across the world. In United States, 50% of the farmers have not seen $1 of profit for over 12 years. Mass suicides, whole families shooting themselves, any number of situations like this. The highest suicide rate among any given profession in United States and Europe is among the farming community, not just in India. So this is a global phenomena and it has to be addressed that way, but geography of the world is not under any one authority. It has to be addressed nationally and at the level of the state for action, because once again, the central government does not hold any geography, they can only make recommendations. It's the state governments which we need to take this action. It has to be incentive-driven. We have prepared a whole policy book. We made policy books for 193 nations, considering their latitudinal position, soil type, economic conditions, and the agricultural traditions of that nation. 193 different handbooks. It took over 2 years to work on this. We are also presenting one for Rajasthan. We will present it to your Chief Minister, but without the people's support, democratically elected leaders cannot do anything. It's very important that people must say, we are with you if you do these things. So, this is a very important responsibility that we have. Save soil, let's make it happen. Because you've been so good, I thought I'll tell you one more little story. This is probably something that you do not know. Did you know that Shankaran Pillai had children? Shankaran Pillai at one time had 3 sons. And he saw that they're just loitering around doing whatever they feel like, so he called them. Suppose you were in rural part of Rajasthan, how would you utter the word good? Good. Good, huh? Good, English word good. Huh? What? Roko. Okay. He did not belong to Rajasthan, I'll say it my own way. It's just a story, come on. So one day he called the 3 boys and said, "You good-for-nothing fellows, you must do something good in your life." You must do something good. The boys asked, "Father, what is good? How do we do good?" So he said, "You fools, you don't even know what is good?" "No, we don't know, Father, tell us what is good and how we should do it." "Do something good you do, go out and do something good." "But Father, we don't know how to do good, we don't know what it is." Then he said, "At least do one thing, if you see an old lady and help her cross the street." So the boys went out. In the evening they came back. He asked the first boy, "Did you do anything good today?" "Yes, Father, I helped an old lady cross the street." "Oh, that is very nice." He asked the second boy, "What did you do?" "Father, I also helped an old lady cross the street." "What, you also got an old lady?" "Yes, Father, I also helped her across." He asked the third boy, "What did you do?" He said, "Father, I also helped the old lady cross the street." He said, "What? 3 of you helped old lady to cross the street, all of you found one old lady?" "No, not only 3 of us, Father, our cousin Ramu, we called him also. All 4 of us, not 3, 4 old ladies, only one." He said, "You good-for-nothing fellows, you need 4 people to help one old lady to cross the street? Father, you don't know how stubborn these old ladies are. She just didn't want to cross." Now, don't be this, because nobody can help you if you don't want to be helped. Nobody. Only if we want to be helped, help can happen. There are political leaders, there are governments in every state. We will connect with all the governments across in the country. We have done that with various nations. We've reached out to all the 195 plus nations. We are talking to the United Nations, we got all the UN agencies, everything. But still, without people wanting to be helped, nobody can help you. Are you that old lady who won't cross the street? Let's make it happen. Save soil, let's make it happen. Do whatever you have to do, form groups, from Facebook groups, WhatsApp groups, Twitter groups, do whatever. Make sure your voice is up. Your voice is up till the policies are made. What is needed? What is needed with the government? What is needed with the world? We will pursue the activity, but people keeping their voices up. Will you get tired by tomorrow morning or every day? Every day just spend 10 to 15 minutes talking about soil, talking about soil. Use your skills on your phone. You have a smartphone, smarter than you. When you have such a smart companion, you have to do something better than this. You have to do something better than that. Please keep your voices up, because your voice is very valuable in a democracy. So save soil, let's make it happen. La 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 la.
la 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 la